The magic of this sport in our country is particularly, I think people of our vintage is, even though there's money at stake, we don't view it as professional.
Yeah.
We don't put it in the same level as the NHL or the NFL or the NBA. There is money at stake, but the names of the legends of this sport are they echo through the country. When you think of guys over the years like Ron Northcutt, long before you, the Richardson boys, they were the ones who really lifted the stone a long way in Saskatchewan. Donnie Duguid to me was one of the great people of the sport, and it resonates that seems to be the common link in the sport. Has that changed over the last 20 years for you too?
Yeah, well, I think the notoriety part, I think, I'm recognized just about everywhere I go in this country, and people know my name.
Well, it's those Montana's commercials.
Well, that hasn't helped, I guess, or it has helped, whatever way you look at it. But you're right. It's not viewed as professional. And I think from an athlete's perspective, I think we would like to see it be viewed as a little bit more professional and get it a little closer. Maybe it's never going to get to the NHL or NBA level or anything like that. But we would love to get it to the point where, the top 20, 30, 40, 50 teams in the world could go out and make a good living at it. And, I think there's enough interest in the sport, particularly when the Olympics come around. Like it is, and you guys have been to Olympics and kind of the excitement that's around curling. Like it is arguably the biggest sport in the Winter Olympics and the most interest, like people come out of the woodworks to learn about curling and want to watch it. And we've done I would say a poor job in this sport on capitalizing on that interest and having that carry over to the next Olympics. So it really kind of sticks for that 6-month window leading up to the Olympics and shortly after, and then it fades until the next one. And, hopefully there's some smart people out there that can figure out a way to capitalize on that and make it a little bit more professional and give athletes more opportunity. That's one thing I would love to see happen in the next 5 or 10 years.
One of the things that hasn't happened has been a dramatic increase in the amount of curling in the U.S. Right. It has grown, but it's not been huge.
Yeah.
And America is always the big rivalry for Canadian athletes. Do you still feel anything when you play American?
Oh yeah, we've gotten to know those teams probably better than most of the international teams, and that was one thing that really excited me back in 2018 when John Schuster won the gold. I expected a real big boom. I think we got a boom, but not a huge boom from that. But if it got bigger in the States, I think it'd be great for the game. And sure. From a rivalry standpoint, yeah, you always want to beat the US. I think that's always there. And listen, they want to beat Canada just as bad or even worse, because we're the kind of home of curling right now, or the we have the biggest curling country. So there's always a target on our back from that perspective. But we're going to be playing John next week or in a couple weeks, and I know for sure if he wanted to win one game during the Worlds, it'd probably be our game.
Yeah. Well,
Bob beat me to it, because you want to grow the game, let the Americans win.
Yeah, it helps for sure. Like I think those guys got on some major media stuff after, like they were on like Jimmy Fallon and some of those big shows that get a huge amount of exposure down in the US. But again, it faded off, and I'm sure it will come back now once the Olympics are close. But yeah, we just need a way to carry it over. We need a Tiger Woods style of player coming out of the US where it really just draws the interest and maintains it over a 4-year period.
I can't remember the events, but I know that there were at least a couple of major events in Las Vegas. Did you curl there?
I did. Yeah. And again, positives and negatives to that. Like it's really cool to play in Vegas, but we had some challenging ice conditions down when we were down there.
Of course, yeah.
And when it's 30 degrees outside, it's tough to make really good curling ice. But it's just an exciting place to play any sport and do anything. Like there's a lot of interest, and we had great crowds down there. So they were fun events to be part of, but from a pure curling standpoint, maybe not the best place to go to.
Right, exactly.
So